Going. Wow, Laurel, there's nothing, Laurel, like being behind the scenes. I love being in the green room. It's one of my favorite places to be. Quick question, if I can ask you, where are you located?
Northern Utah.
Northern Utah. There's a Southern Utah. Well, we'll come back to that. You're in Northern Utah. Okay, I'm in Washington, D.C. I get it. I know you think a number of folks might know who you are out there, and they may. Mm-hmm. Instead of me reading this long bio right now, do you mind taking a minute or two and maybe tell us a little about who is Laurel and what are you up to these days?
Perfect. Thank you so much. I just have to start by saying I am so excited to be part of this. And I just want to say thank you for having me on your show. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in and watching and just supporting everyone who is being an entrepreneur and for listening in on this. I'm really excited to be here. So thank you. So about me, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a professional presenter and a mentor. And I have spent a lot of time traveling and meeting people. I have kind of a weird background. I was a farm girl, born and raised, and a cosmetologist that has 2 college degrees, and I merged them all together. And it has brought me on this really interesting journey that I didn't know I was on until it started to really help me find my purpose. And that is, none of us have a straight path journey that we're on. And somewhere along the way, hopefully we find who we are and why that's so important. And then we turn it into our passion and hopefully get paid for it.
I like that. Hopefully get paid for it. That is so important. And why is this topic? Why did you pick this topic this evening? We're going to be talking about. Frame the conversation, if you can, of what folks can expect during this conversation tonight or this morning or this afternoon or whatever time it is for them, wherever they are in the world.
Whenever they find it. So tonight, I really want to talk about a couple really key things. First, I very much believe that every person in this life experience has a purpose and that they matter. And I think that that is something we are losing in our society. People don't know where they belong anymore. They don't know if they matter anymore, if they're loved anymore. And I really think it's important that we all understand that and know that and share our light with each other, whether it is in business, in family, in community. And the passion part of that is what I really feel like so many people have lost. We are trying to make a living instead of a life. And for me, it's possible to have both. That I don't work so that I can just pay my bills and buy my groceries. I make a living so that I can make a life. And that's why I think that passion and purpose are so important, because it's lost for so many of us. And I want to help bring that back to people.
So you believe even in this chaotic world, which we're going to talk about. Hey, what's going on, Shelly? Wait, thanks for joining. She's out there. Kim Wyckoff is out there as well. Dee Bowden, Jan, I see you, Jan. Kim Moss. So many folks are tuning in. So you believe in, I guess we're going to find out in your heart of hearts that even in this these uncertain times, even in this chaotic world, that we can still have a life and make a living at the same time and walk in our purpose and our passion. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly. And I'm a mother. I've been married for 12 years. I have 3 children under the age of 8. Under the age of 8. Yep.
Don't you guys try to count the years, okay?
I have an 8, a 5, and a 2-year-old. And I started my business when I was pregnant with my second baby while my husband was still in college. Wow. So when I talk about having consistency, having passion, having purpose, that is what got me to having a 6-figure company, that I set my own schedule, that I can manage my priorities because I know what my passion is. I know what my purpose is. And so it's easy for me to choose the life that I want to live.
Well, I'm looking forward to this conversation. I'm looking forward to learn about this body mapping. I'm looking forward to learn how to walk in our purpose and our passion. I love how authentic you are. I love how real you are. I didn't know there was such thing as Northern Utah, by the way. And we do want to give a shout out to Eric Swanson. And Eric Swanson is with Habitude Warrior Conference. Y'all all can go over to Habitude Warrior right now, this Habitude Warrior. And he puts on an amazing event. And he connected myself and the one and only Laurel Huston right now together. Take a moment and talk about, if you would, Laurel, the good that Eric is doing with Habitude Warrior Conference and why it's important to still share and connect folks together.
Connection is the one thing that we are losing at an astronomical rate, and it's the one thing that's actually going to help us to continue to succeed. Eric, oh my goodness, I do not have a way to express the amount of gratitude I have for him. So Eric is one of those people that he genuinely gives. He gives in his conferences, he gives to his speakers, he gives to his audience members. And Eric and I were introduced to each other because I was actually in a speaking competition. I had 3 minutes to deliver a message, an invitation, and connect with the audience. And he was one of the judges. And as part of I won first place. And as part of the prize, he said, I'll give you 5 minutes on my stage, which his stage has a 2-year wait list. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to go, and he just kept piling on all of these good things. And then I get there and I meet all of the other amazing speakers. There were about 200 people in the audience. I got to connect with all of the audience members and just really help people see exactly what we're going to be talking about today. That your attitude and your habits, which is what Habitude comes from, really helps you with your purpose and your passion and living the life you desire instead of being in default all the time.
Wow. So it's possible, ladies and gentlemen. It's possible. And it's going to happen right now. Hello to Zamar out there. Hey, Stephen Bell, Cheryl Graham out in California. You're at the right place at the right time with the one and only Laurel Huston. Don't worry. I'm not going to ask her to repeat that speech she only had 3 minutes for. Don't worry. But we did hear her say that, didn't we? Just don't put me on the spot. Don't put me on the spot. I will not do that. With that being said, I got to get going. They're saying, Shay, you're well over and overtime. We got to get out the green room. We got to get the show going. So with that being said, we're going to get started in 5, 4, 3. I love being in the green room. 2, 1. Let's take it away, ladies and gentlemen. It's showtime. We're going to have some fun. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you the entrepreneur. You the mom, you the dad, you the speaker, you the author, you the coach, you the influencer, you the person that has a vision first for yourself. And it takes resources to execute that vision. That means it takes revenue. You have a vision for your loved ones. I'm fortunate with Mother Dear. I can write a check and take her out to physical therapy. I love doing that. Some of you have kids. You want to write a check and send them to a school of your choice. It takes resources. Some of you just want to buy health care. You want to make sure you have everything you need. It takes resources. And then you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. And I want you to imagine for a moment that you're Noah, whether you believe in the Bible or not. I happen to be a believer, but you don't have to be. But there's a book called the Bible. And I want you to imagine for a moment that Noah has a vision from God. And there's no hammer. Well, there's no resources. He has no nails, no resources. How's he going to execute the vision? There's no wood. There's no team. And so he finds himself in a situation where he can't execute the vision. That might be you. And some of you want to know, what is your purpose? What is your passion? Well, this morning, this evening, this afternoon, Laurel Huston is going to give it to us. She's going to share this with us. So let me welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the one and only all the way from northern Utah. She keeps saying northern Utah. I got to go Google northern Utah. What's going on, Laurel? How are you?
So good. Oh, it is so good to be here. So can we talk about northern Utah for a moment?
Yes, can we talk about northern Utah? Since you know one person, she might be watching, Amy Walker. She regularly watches our program, by the way. She might be watching right now. So give a shout out to northern Utah. No one's ever done that on my show before, by the way.
So one of the reasons I say northern Utah is because most people know southern Utah, where all the national forests are, and I live 8 hours away from there. So it's cold where I'm at. That's why I say northern.
And
so that people who are in cold right now, they can feel my pain.
Okay. I knew there had to be some logic behind you kept screaming northern. I thought it would be a little different than it's just cold here, okay?
No, yeah.
That's the claim to fame, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the middle of nowhere and it's cold. But the good news is...
Precisely.
Good news is you got internet, you got the power, and through the power of these fiber optic lines, Laurel Huston will change your life if you'll let her. And I'm going to ask her, she picked the topic, purpose and passion. And I want to know, why did you pick that topic, by the way? I was curious. I was like, not another thing on purpose and passion. Why?
Well, part of it is because I have a little bit different take on it. I very much believe every person on this earth has purpose, and we're losing that. We've lost that. We've lost our passion. We've lost our ability to dream and believe that we can have what we dream for, what we want to design. I call it living in default versus living in design. So many of us are in default. We are taking what we can get. We're going through the motions and we don't really enjoy life, and we're forgetting to design our life. We're forgetting that life is something that can be shaped, can be molded, can be changed. And I want to remind people of that. You get to choose your life. You get to choose it.
You get to choose your life. Let me just address something if I can. How can I say this? I'll say it like this. You said find your purpose and your passion. And there's some folks out there that are thinking, I'm in overwhelm right now, okay? I've got so much going on. I got to take care of the family. I got to take care of the kids. I've got to make sure I work during the day full time, and then I work my business full time. And I know I'm meant for something, which you're going to get into in a little while, how they can find how their purpose and their passion is. But I want you to address the elephant in the room if you can. Let me ask this question. As a mother of 3 young children and a wife, what advice would you give to other women? I'll just make it like that right now. Women, entrepreneurs, to do what you just said. You said it a couple of times, to be successful in balance, which sounds like an oxymoron, to be honest with you. It really does. But what advice would you give to other women entrepreneurs out there?
So one of the best and most shifting things for me in my business was that I started being purposeful and intentional. I'm going to use that word. I started being intentional in my doing. And so instead of just doing and hustling, I got so tired of telling me if I just hustled more. So a little bit of background. When I started my company, I'm a cosmetologist by trade, but I have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and another one in communication. And I put my way through school. I've had a job since I was 13 years old. I grew up on a farm, so work hard was drilled into me. If I wasn't working hard, I wasn't worth much. And then I got married, and I was putting my husband was still in college, and I worked his way through college, multiple jobs. At one point I was working 70 hours a week, and none of it brought me joy. So none of the money that came into my family brought me joy either, because it was all about bills and groceries. And then we had our first baby, and I went, I can't do this anymore, because all of a sudden my priorities went from here to here. And I wanted more than anything to be able to spend time with that child, but still have income while my husband was in school. And my programming was work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. And one day I went, hard work is putting me into overwhelm. It's putting me into exhaustion. It's putting me into resentment. I'm resenting my husband. I'm resenting the world, because all I can do right now is work hard, and I don't have anything I want. I'm not spending time with the people I love, my husband, my child. I never see my parents. And I went, I'm done working hard, and I'm going to start working intentional. And that is the biggest thing, whether you are at home with your kids, be intentional. When you're on that every 3-month date with your spouse, be intentional. When you are in your office and you are working, be intentional. And when you're not with husband, he's not on your mind. When you're not with kids, they're not on your mind. When you're not with work, work's not on your mind. You have to be intentional. And that is so that's the first thing. And the second thing, play. Now I know I heard people are like, I don't have time to play. That's exactly why, especially in all of what's going on right now, you need to make time to play. You need to make time to find joy. Because we are here to make a life, not just a living. And our lives should be full of joy. So play. Play with your kids, play with your spouse. And this is, I'll be honest, because I've mentored hundreds of people at this point. Play is a trigger word for people. How do you play? If I were to ask you, how do you play? What do you do for play? Most people don't know. They think you have to go play at a park, and they don't have time for that. Play is something that brings you joy, whether that's listening to an amazing podcast, whether that is spending time in nature, enjoying your food, not just eating guilt, which I do on a regular basis with chocolate cake. That you do those things that bring you joy. That's what I mean by play. And especially moms, we've got to do it more. That's what's really helped me find success in my business, in my life, with my kids, with my husband, with my clients. I started to play more and work less.
Play more, work less. For those folks that are out there right now, do me a favor, hit the share button. You can hit the watch party button. You can hit the share button and pay this message forward. And when you do that, when you hit the share button, go ahead and write, you can have a life and a living at the same time. Hashtag Laurel Huston. Just go ahead and write, you can have a life and a living at the same time. Hashtag Laurel Huston. Hit the share button right now. Hit the watch party button right now. This message is all about you finding who you are and walking in your purpose and your passion. And don't worry, Karen Cherry, she's watching, by the way. She runs the largest women's conference in Mississippi called Success Women's Conference. Amazing individual, by the way. Siobhan, who's watching right now as well. Michael Sharp. So many of you out there watching right now. Can we go ahead and get right into what is this body mapping? There's something that you created. So look at that big smile on your face. I'm going to tell you, we had so much fun before we got started. She's like the most authentic person I probably have ever spoken to. She's like a comedian. For someone that says, Shay, this is my first live podcast type of thing like this, but I speak all over the world. I'm like, don't worry. You picked the right place. We're going to have fun. So talk about body mapping. What is it and why is it important? Because I had never heard of body mapping a day in my life.
No. So a little bit of backstory, and I'll keep this short. After I had my first baby, she was about 18 months old, and she's in that weird opinionated but not verbal stage that most kids are lucky to survive. And I was working in the salon, and I kept recognizing that there were different things, body language, that she kept doing over and over and over. And I happened to be working another job. I was teaching anatomy and physiology at the college level. That's a whole nother story. But I was learning body language, and I was staring at clients all day long in the chair at the salon. And then I was learning about our physical bodies. And I started to realize that clients I had that had certain characteristics in their face, in their features in their body, also had similar personality traits. And so I started researching, and I started to piece together, it's about 12 different philosophies and modalities. And I put it all together and created what's called body mapping. And what it's based on is that every part of your body can be measured with another part of your body. And when it's in proportion versus out of proportion, it tells me a significant personality trait or gift that you were born with that helps you fulfill your purpose in this life experience.
And so take a moment if you can, because I now understand what it is. I'm glad you created this. I'm glad you recognize these patterns. How does it help you with relationships?
Okay.
So why don't we start there? Because I know you're going to talk about purpose and passion. So let's talk about the relationships that folks have and how this body mapping can help us in our relationships.
Awesome. May I use you as an example?
Of course.
Okay, because this is the first time we're meeting. So
Yes.
in body mapping, it's all about proportions and symmetry. And so based on your face shape, a couple of the things that I automatically know about you. Your nose tells me you're a spender. You like to buy things.
I must have the only nose like that in the world. I know, joke. I love that. Yes, I do. That's good.
So, and you are so you have what are called comfort corners. Your eyes come slightly down in the corner. So for you, it's no one likes to buy you things because the first thing you do is fill it. And if it's uncomfortable, you won't wear it. You'll say thank you though, because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah.
But if you want to buy a pillow or a couch or something, it's all about appearance because I like symmetry because of the shape of my eyes. But for you, it's about comfort. It's about making the people around you feel comfortable. That's why you're so good at doing podcasts, because comfort is really important to you, especially your own.
Yes, this is good. You're right
So
on target.
the temperature in the room must be suitable to you, unless someone expresses that they're uncomfortable, and then you'll immediately change it. The other thing, you are a very deep thinker. Your eyes are a little bit farther set back, very contemplative. Your emotions run deep, your thoughts run deep. And when you get interrupted in those, you come across as confused, but it's just more because there were things that you were in the middle of processing and then someone interrupted you. So if I can look at someone and know they're not ignoring me right now, they're contemplative, they're thinking because you have these deep eyes. Well, I have these big bug eyes. And so I notice details. I'm the person that walks in a room and I have to shift a painting that's crooked. It's actually driving me crazy right now that the window behind me is crooked in the way I have my camera. And those are things that some people would have never noticed because of the shape of their eye. They have other abilities and other talents. Ears are a big one. My ears are proportionate, and so are yours. So your ear is the same size as your nose.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you measure from the curve right here to the tip of your nose, it'll match the points of your ear that connect to your head.
And that's not true for everybody, huh?
Right. So if it doesn't match, then they have large ears. They literally hear things that you and I wouldn't hear. And if someone has small, and I love watching these people in church because when that one person starts singing, they're always like, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So when I'm communicating with people, if they have really big eyes, they're going to see things. And so I'm going to give them visual instructions. I'm going to give them a list to go to the grocery store. If they have big ears, I'm going to tell them what I need, and they'll process that information better. So like kids in school, this affects their learning style. If your eyes are proportionate and your ears are proportionate, these are the kids that move all the time because they're kinesthetic. They can learn from seeing, they can learn from hearing, but what they want to do is move, and then they get in trouble for it.
I was that kid too, yeah.
Yep. You're proportionate. Your eyes and your ears are both in proportion. So if you can click a pen, you pay more attention. If you bounce your foot, if you you learn to wiggle your bum without your shoulders moving, all those things to move.
Yeah.
Because when you move, you process information faster. So learning those small things from a presenter's standpoint, when I'm communicating with my one-on-one clients, when I'm in front of an audience and someone asks a question, I know how to answer that question just based on the way they look, that they'll process the information in the best way.
Man, I'm loving that. That is hot. That is so cool. I love that. And that's called body mapping. And you just kind of share with us how that works in a relationship or when you're having a conversation. Can you also kind of share how that crosses over into business just a little bit? Just kind of frame or unpack that piece for us there so we can relate for all of our business owners as well.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things that I tell, especially the leaders, the managers, and this has to do with the words we use. So have you ever met someone and they think like a cabbage patch? They're very round. They've got circled cheeks. They've got a little circle face. Everything about them is just circles.
Yeah.
They like soft words. They have those soft features and they use soft words. The other side of that is someone who has all these sharp angles and a really sharp chin. The pointier the face, the pointier the words. So you'll have someone and they have these high cheekbones and these really bone structures, and you'll say, well, how are you doing today? Good. They're not trying to be rude. That's just where if you ask cute little cabbage patch, how are you doing today? Oh, I am doing so good. I've had the best day ever. How are you?
Yes.
And if you are a manager and you have all these cute cabbage patches that you're in charge of and you're giving instructions, I need you guys here right at 9 o'clock, be on time. I don't want excuses. You come across as a jerk and you're just being you. Where if it's reversed and you have all of these employees with these good structured faces and you're a cute little cabbage patch and you're being really, really nice and being very, very wordy, and you will have your employees say to you, get to the point. Why are you telling us this? Learning what you are versus what someone else is helps you with communication. It's not an excuse to be rude. It's not an excuse to be wordy. When you know, you can change the way you communicate.
Now, I love how you took that body mapping and kind of broke it down into the individual pieces. And I was following along with that, by the way. How have you shared that? Have you shared that with your clients, and have they been able to use that in their business? And you don't have to give us a name, but can you share maybe a story of one of the clients that you work with and how they use body mapping to really help them be a more effective communicator and get their message across? And thanks for doing the body mapping to me, by the way. I'm going to go check my nose and my ears. Now I know why I'm such a deep thinker. My eyes are set back in the way they are. This is great. You're like a natural. You're fantastic.
Thank you.
Northern Utah in the house. I'm going to tell Amy Walker what you did, by the way. I'm going to tell her.
Okay. So I actually have the first client that came to my mind. She works in the oil fields, and so very predominantly men. And in her mind, she needed to act like a man to really get across her message. But she has this cute little round face. And so she would use these harsh, strict words. And she just came across as rude and arrogant and pushy. And she was just trying to establish that she was the boss. And I said, your words aren't matching your facial feature. So not that you need to be really just, you don't need to talk to them like they're children, but soften. And she was like, they won't take me serious if I do that. And I said, just trust me on this one. Instead of trying to talk to them like you're a man a woman trying to be a man, talk to them like a woman being a woman with soft features. And so she started adding more details. She started talking slower. She started talking calmer. And all of a sudden, all of the men were actually listening to her instructions, and the follow through increased. She was over safety, so it's a pretty big deal. Yeah. And the next safety report that they went on, they had one incident where the previous one, they had 9. And it was because they started to follow her instructions. Well, since then, she's gotten a promotion. They gave her a totally different office. She's in California now at a completely different field office. She's over twice as many people. And she uses this constantly for when she's working with CEOs and board of directors. She'll change the way that she is speaking versus when she's talking to those that are working under her. and she's exponentially promoting herself. And the way that she's communicating with people is beautiful. There's no more arguments. There's no more misconception of who she is, because she's actually speaking in the way people expect her to, based on what she looks like.
Wow. And for a number of folks, they can use this in their videos as well. Is that correct? For business owners who are communicating their message, especially for where we are this time in history, being able to communicate through these lines, they can use this body mapping to be a more effective communicator. Is that correct?
Very much so. You have a lot of people that they take their background into consideration. They take what they wear into consideration, but they miss their tone of voice.
Yeah.
And they are trying so hard to be what they think other people think of them that they forget to think of who they are.
I love it. And we come back, we're going to talk about find out who you are. A number of folks do that. Like, well, I dress this way, I got to be this way. When at the end of the day, it's about, as you talked about earlier, if I do it in a summation way, it's about making sure they understand what they're saying, what the person's hearing, what they're seeing, and then what they're feeling as well. You got to take all those. And you brought together in body mapping. That was pretty cool. And you're the creator of it. It's like your own methodology. Cool stuff. When we come back, since she's now talked about body mapping, we understand the importance of it. We're going to get right into the cool stuff as well. How do you find your purpose, and how do you walk in your passion? Because for many of you, you might know your purpose, but you're not in your passion, or you might be passionate, but not in your purpose. When we come back, Laurel Huston from Northern Utah will break it down for us. Right now, we're going down to Raleigh, North Carolina. We're going down to talk to Dr. Kenneth Thigpen, and she talks about confidence is currency. How true is that? We'll be back in less than 2 minutes, and we're going to learn all about finding your purpose and your passion so you know who you are and what you were meant to do. We'll be back in just a moment. Take it away, Dr. Kenneth Thigpen.
Hello, it's your girl, Dr. Kenneth Thigpen, also known as Dr. K, founder of Rise Women's Network. And Rise Women's Network is pleased to present to you #Next Sister Up. I'm with you in the Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe, and today is my January 1st. Here's your thought of the week. Confidence is currency. You see, confidence is one of the most important factors when it comes to one's success. Your confidence is ultimately how strongly you believe in your skills, your level to perform, and your ability to reach goal attainment. So I wanted to share with you 4 ways in order to convert your confidence into currency. First, you must do the things that you are afraid of. Now, I get it. We're afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of uncertainty. We're afraid of success and failure. We're afraid of being judged and what people are going to think about us. But the fastest way to build your confidence is to do the thing that you are afraid of first. Stop putting a wall of fear between you and your confidence. Second, you want to be able to set your bar and your goals oh so high. Set them so high that you have no clue how you're going to be able to achieve them. Because when you set very low and weak goals, you're going to get mediocre results. Number 3, you want to be able to ask questions. When you don't know, when you're stuck, take time to ask questions. Because powerful people ask powerful questions, because questions steer focus. And in this life, you get what you focus on. And number 4, you want to let go of perfection. Now, oftentimes people think that perfection is there to protect them from something, when in reality, it prevents them from everything. And so remember, you are braver than you believe, you are stronger than you seem, and you are smarter than you think. It's your girl, Dr. K. Make it a great day.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country, where we're on a mission. And that mission is to empower. Yep, that mission is to inspire. Yes, indeedy. And that mission is to make sure we provide you with all the resources necessary to execute the vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And we believe in our heart, and this is one of our core values, that the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. And so this morning or this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it is for you, Laurel Huston is doing one thing, and that is making sure you get results in your life, and that will transform over to your business. And she believes that you can have it all. She really believes that. And so, Laurel, take a moment if you can and talk about how do you learn who you are so that you can love who you are. Sounds like a big order, and I know we could do a whole month episodes on that. But if you can, give us the best you can in the time that we have. How does someone do that?
Well, what we were talking about before with body mapping, one of my favorite parts about it is that my thumb correctly measures my eye. So if I put my thumb right here and then I roll it across, the corner of my eye hits my knuckle if my eye is proportionate. Mine are large, so mine goes past my knuckle.
Oh, yeah,
Cool, right?
Cool, yeah.
So my thumb will never properly measure your eye. So as soon as I try to compare who I am to who you are, I'm wrong. I'm wrong about me, and I'm wrong about you. And I love that she talked about confidence as currency, because to me, comparison kills confidence. And one of the first things we have to stop doing is comparing ourselves to who we are and who we aren't. Because we look at other people, we look at their successes, we compare their best to our worst, and then wonder why we hate ourselves. So one of the reasons I love teaching people body mapping is because it tells them you have to measure yourself against yourself to really know who you are and to ever know the truth about who you are. Because I can't measure myself against you and know who either of us are.
I love that. Learn who you are first, and talk about the difference between purpose and passion.
Well, for me, first, passion has so many different meanings to people. And for some people, it's a trigger word. For some people, passion is not a good thing. Passion is not it's a of the devil thing, if we want to go there for a minute. But I tell people, no, passion is what drives us. You can have discipline and you can have motivation, but on the days that you don't have either, if you don't have passion, you don't have the life you want. And you can do all sorts of things to get motivated about something. And you can work yourself to be disciplined about something. But passion comes from within. Passion is the thing that drives you when you're too tired to keep going. Passion is the thing that makes you say, that's what I want, and I deserve it.
You deserve it. But you talked about earlier in the segment how and why you started your business, and that was moving. But what almost drove you to the place where you almost quit your business, which is interesting. And why didn't you do that?
Well, I, like so many entrepreneurs, there's two big mistakes that I made. So the first one was I thought because I had good discipline and I could work hard, that if I just pushed through my sadness, pushed through my confusion, pushed through my resentment and my frustration and my ignorance, because I didn't actually mean to start a business, if I'm being totally honest. I started teaching people about body mapping. And the first time I taught a class, it was because one of my clients in the salon said, "This is amazing. Would you teach me this?" And I said, "Well, my husband has class that night, so I need a babysitter. Will you pay me?" And she said yes. And that's how I started my business. Because the class got over and the ladies all said, "We want to learn more." And I said, "Great. Would you pay me to do another class?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "How much would you pay me?" And they told me the price. And I said, "Great. I'll do it for that." And because I wasn't purposeful in my business and I was only passionate about it, I was so excited to teach people that I lost passion because it was taking me away from everything else I cared about. So when I am talking about when I almost quit, because I was trying to push, I was trying to only work hard, and I'll be honest, I got stuck in the money part of it, and I lost my passion. I got so caught up on, this helps me pay my bills. And it wasn't, this helps me help more people, because my passion was helping people find confidence. And I lost that. And so many of us do, because we're working to pay bills instead of working to create a lifestyle. And I didn't want that. And I didn't have the lifestyle I wanted, and I didn't have a mentor. I was going to do it all on my own. I was going to figure all of this out. and I was trying to do everything until I finally hired a mentor, and she said to me, you need to start doing what only you can do. If someone else can do your dishes, then someone else needs to be doing them. If someone else can send out your emails, then someone else needs to send out your emails. You need to do what only you can do, because that's what you're passionate about. You're passionate about helping people, not sending out emails. You're passionate about loving on your children, not cleaning your bathroom. So you need to do what only you can do. And it took some humility, because no one can load the dishwasher as good as I can.
Of course not. Of course not.
Especially not my husband. So I found my passion, and all of a sudden, all of the things that truly didn't matter, I didn't have to be the person to do them anymore. Mm-hmm. So I could find passion. I could let that spark, that part of me inside that all of a sudden lit up, I actually could let it get bigger. And when I almost quit, it's because I stopped caring. I stopped caring about the people, and I started caring only about the doing. I was a human doing instead of a human being. And it broke me.
And when it broke you and you had that moment, how did you turn it back around?
Well, I had a really cool experience. I was still in the salon at the time, and this absolutely gorgeous woman came in. And I remember looking at her and thinking, what could I possibly do for you? She sat down in my chair and she said, hurry and get that cape on me and cover up all this. And I went, excuse me? And she then went on to start complaining about every part of her. Her teeth were crooked. She was overweight. She was starting to get wrinkles. She had this whole list of everything about herself that she hated. And I looked at her and I said, don't you know you were beautiful before you ever sat in my chair? Mm-hmm. And I think too many of us need to be reminded of that. Don't you know you're smart before you ever read someone else's book? Didn't you know you were kind before someone said thank you? We forget that we're already good, and we're already good enough. And I remember thinking, we need to be reminded that we are enough, because this woman clearly does not remember that. And then the harder part, I looked at myself and went, and I don't tell myself enough that I am good, that I do good things, that I am a good mom, that I am a good wife. And I started to share that message. And I actually started with teenagers. My first couple audiences were teenagers.
That's a tough audience. If you can tell them, then you can tell anybody. So you made it.
I was in front of 1,600 teenagers.
Whoa.
And I taught a workshop, and the whole point of it was for them to learn and remember 3 words. Mm-hmm. And I got them to repeat it over and over and over. I am enough. Because when you know you're enough, you can find your purpose.
So well said. With that being said, we're going to take a break. We're going to go down over to Phoenix, Arizona, over to Ty Miles. She'll talk about business boosting beliefs. But I want you all to do me a favor. Look right below the video. And write these words. I am enough. Hashtag Laurel Huston. Just put I am enough. Hashtag Laurel Huston. Now, after you do that, after you make that affirmation just for yourself, I want you to pay it forward. I want you to hit the share button. And then once you hit the share button, I want you to write those words, but change the I to you. We're going to bless someone else. We're going to pay this message forward to someone else. Hit the share button right now. And I want you to write, you are enough. Hashtag Laurel Huston. No, seriously. That's what I want you to do right now, because she helped 1,600. We understand teenagers. We get that. But you're going to help hundreds of thousands of folks right now in this present moment. This is your time. This is your moment to do something for someone else. So go ahead and hit the share button right now and write, you are enough. Hashtag Laurel Huston. because I believe it, and Laurel sitting over there, she believes it as well. We'll be back in just a moment, less than 2 minutes. Let's go over to Ty Miles up in Phoenix, Arizona. She says, business boosting beliefs. Let me share a few things with you. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. Take it away, Ty.
Hi there, Ty Miles here, founder of Fierce a Woman and the Women's Wellbeing Firm. I am so excited to be here with you today inside of the Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe. Today is my January 1st. This week's thought, business boosting beliefs. What you believe is just as important as what you do in your business, because what you do gets you the results, right? So it can be said that what you believe will determine the results you see in your business. Today, I'm going to be talking about 2 of 4 tips so that you can create your own business boosting beliefs. Tip number 1, accomplish. You must know exactly what you want to accomplish, right? So you have to ask yourself, what specifically do I want to accomplish in my business this week, this month, this quarter, this year? Because without understanding what you want to accomplish, a destination, you won't exactly know how to get to the destination, and you won't know how you got to the destination so that you can repeat it again. Tip number 2 is assess. In order to come up with the type of beliefs that's going to continue to get you results in your business, you need to know where your current belief level is, right? So it's easy for us to say that we have positive belief and say that we have these great beliefs when things are going right. But the true test of where your belief is how you think, what you say, and what you do when things are not going according to plan. So just think about the last time, or even maybe right now, you might find yourself in a difficult place in your business or in your life. Ask yourself, what am I thinking? What am I saying? What am I doing? So that you can really become aware of how you're showing up. And once you're aware of how you're showing up, now you can see clearly how you need to make the adjustment. So that's all for today. Join me in the next video where I'll talk about tip number 3 and tip number 4. But before I get out of here, let me leave you with this quote. Whether you believe you can or not, you're right. Henry Ford. So that's all for today. Bye for now, and I'll see you all next time.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country, where we're on a mission to empower, to inspire, and to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all the resources you really need to execute the vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And now we're moving into one of our segments, Laurel, called Today is My January 1st. And for those folks that are tuning in for the very first time, we want to welcome all of you. And for those folks that know what segment this is, you can go ahead and write below the video, today is my January 1st. But for those folks that are hearing it, today, Laurel, represents one of our core values and our beliefs. And it is that on any given day, that you have to make a decision throughout that day. That is a January 1st moment. You don't have to wait to January 1st. You create January 1st moments when you make a decision, and it forever changes the trajectory of your life. It's a new start, maybe. It's a new beginning, maybe. It's a change. It's a do-over. For some folks, is their past doesn't equal their future. They change it in the present moment, because thoughts are things, and things can be changed. You either go to the gym or you sit on the couch. That's a January 1st moment, right? You either eat hamburgers and French fries during these times, or you go to your refrigerator and there's some kale and some broccoli and some Brussels sprouts. And that sounds really good to you right now. That's a January 1st moment. So my question to you is, folks are writing, today is my January 1st, and they know they can walk in their purpose. They can walk in their passion. They can use mind mapping. When you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what goes through your mind? What does it mean to you?
So for me, my January 1st is to flow. And I'll explain that a little bit. But I mentioned just a little bit ago, I caught myself I became a human doing instead of a human being. And I was spending so much time on things that really didn't matter. I mean, they got stuff done, but they didn't matter. And I have started to spend more time finding peace, finding flow, to really be present and be in the moment And it has had huge impacts on my relationships with my husband and my relationships with all three of my children, with my clients. But just to really get into that, I'm going to be present. I'm going to be in flow and gratitude. Gratitude is the other big piece of it. Every day before I go to bed, before I connect with my higher power, I make a list of 10 things I'm grateful for. Mm-hmm. And then I make sure that I include that in my prayer. And then that's how I fall asleep, is focusing on those 10 things I'm grateful for. And that's how I wake up.
I like that. I'm gonna have to do that before I go to bed. I write in something called the 5-minute journal, and I do it in the morning time. But I like how you do it at night. That's good. So you plan it. Is there a reason you do it at night? Is it because your schedule works better at night versus the morning? I'm just curious.
Because your mind, whatever you do 10 minutes before you fall asleep, goes through your mind thousands of times. And so I can go to bed in worry, or I can go to bed in wonder. And I choose to go to bed in wonder.
I like that. Worry versus wonder. I'm going to go to bed and wonder. I love that. That's some good stuff. That's good stuff. What was your January 1st moment? The moment that you decided you were going to plant your flag, you were going to draw a line in the sand, and you was going to make this work no matter what. This is your calling.
I, like so many moms, missed a very crucial thing that my child was involved in. And it was something simple. My daughter had worked on a science fair rock collection, but she was in 2nd grade, and it was so precious to her. And it was so important to her that I be there when they put the ribbon on it. And at that time, someone else was dictating my schedule. And she came home from school, and she looked at me and she said, "Mom, you missed the ribbon ceremony." And I said, "Never again. Never again will I miss something that's important to me because of something that someone else told me was important." And that's when I really decided I will be the business owner. I will be in control of my schedule. I will be in control of my wage. I will be in control of designing the life I desire. No more default.
No more default. How does that feel?
Beautiful. It brings me a lot of peace, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are certain times where I'm thinking, okay, if I say yes to this, that means I'm saying no to this. And I just have to continue to trust and have faith that it's going to be for my greatest good and for the greatest good of my family. And so far it has.
Yeah.
So far it has.
That's a blessing. That is amazing. You know, as folks are writing, today is my January 1st, and they're excited right now. They're feeling it. They can do this. They can do this. One of the things that we understand is that the best intentions do not equal the best results, right? They just don't. And so my question is going to be to you is, how do you remain consistent? Because for somebody out there, they're like, "Jay, I've gone down this path before. I was going to be in flow, and then I was off track." And we know life is a series of being on track and off track, on track and off track. So my question to you is, what do you recommend that folks do in order to be consistent and stay the course?
They need to be MIA, massive, imperfect action. Daily, imperfect action. Because it's not about the one big, okay, I'm just going to hash this out. And then you're tired and exhausted and you let it sit for a while. It's those small, imperfect, all my perfectionists just got an eyebrow twitch, those daily imperfect actions. Give yourself grace, because as those of us who have really found our life that makes us happy, a bad workout is better than no workout.
Yeah.
Because it's those imperfect, consistent actions that give yourself grace, and that's what helps you get into the habit, for lack of a better word. That's what creates that life that you're wanting to create, is being, because some of us, I call it the pop cycle. We go from perfectionism to overwhelm to procrastination. Back to perfectionism, overwhelm, procrastination. Get out of perfectionism. Done is better than perfect. It's about progression, not perfection. And just keep taking those imperfect actions.
So well said. I love it. I love it. When we come back, we're going to ask Laurel. She will give her final thoughts. I might have a couple questions for her, and then she's going to give her final thoughts, her final comments as we close out. This is wonderful. MIA, massive imperfect action. Is that what I heard?
Yep.
Oh, this is great. You know what? I feel so much better already because I don't have to be what? I don't have to be perfect. We're going to go over to Rob Howes, by the way. And Rob Howes is in Laurel, Maryland, like Laurel Huston, but it's in Laurel, Maryland. And he's going to talk about be present where you are. Wow.
Love that.
How true is that? Be present where you are. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. Take it away, Rob.
Hey guys,
All right.
me and Daddy are here.
All right, I'm doing a video.
I got a question.
No, it's not a question. This is a video where I'm telling people something. I'm telling them that today is their January 1st. Today is your January 1st Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe, because today is the only day you got. Because tomorrow's not promised and yesterday is gone. So the reason why today being your January 1st is significant because it keeps you from procrastination. Procrastination is the destroyer of dreams. Yeah, it's the destroyer. It's the killer of dreams. So take action. Be present where you're present. That's the real gift. Be present where you are present. That is the real gift. Today is your January 1st. Say today.
Today.
Say today is your January 1st.
Today is January 1st.
Say it loud.
Today is January 1st.
That's it. Don't forget it.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And that mission is to empower, that mission is to inspire, and that mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources necessary to execute the vision you have for the people you are called to serve. And we want to have this segment that we do called Rapid Fire with Laurel Huston. And it's where I get to ask a question or two and she answers it in about a minute or two. So it's so much fun. And one of the questions I was chatting with her about that I'm really curious about is of all the mentors that she's had along this journey, what's one of the lessons she's learned from any one of her mentors, either in person or maybe someone she's followed, that she can share that lesson with us. And we can take that lesson away. What's one of the lessons you've learned?
It's grace, not perfection.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give yourself grace, not perfection. In relationships, in work, in money, give yourself grace before you try to get perfection.
I love it. And there's a lot of movies out there these days, and you may have seen many along your journey. And there's also a lot of books. And if you had to pick a book or a movie that's really impacted your life, and there's so many, I know it's hard to say this is the only one, but what movie or book is top of mind to you right now?
Well, because I have 3 children under the age of 8, I watch a lot of Disney movies. And I am 100% being honest when I say this, Frozen 2. Watching Frozen 2 and putting yourself in the character of Anna and Elsa and their journey of finding themselves and finding who they are. And you really do need to sing along. Mm-hmm. You got to sing along. That's one of my current inspirations right now. And I just finished one of my favorite books for the 4th time, and that is Year of Yes by Shonda.
Love it. Great book. Love that book as well. Great book. What is something about you that no one knows, by the way? What do you do for fun?
Well, people know this, but not if they're not out. My husband and I are competition action shooters. We just target shooting.
That's cool.
And the best part is we have to dress up like cowboys.
And what do you enjoy so much about it? What do you enjoy about it?
It's the competitive part of it. Mm-hmm. There is no prizes given, and so you're just trying to compete against your personal best. Mm-hmm. There's lots of play in it because you have to dress up. It's called cowboy action shooting. So you have to dress up like you're from the early 1900s. And I get to do it with my husband.
That is wonderful. That. Yeah. Last question before you get to give your comments. You mentioned you have 3 children. I know, imagine that they get a hold of this long lost video for whatever reason. And they have a message from mom. Now, it's hard for mom to give a message to all 3 because they're 3 different personalities. But if there's one message that you could give to them that they may see at some point in the future, because they got a hold of this, what would the message from Mom be to her 3 little ones out there?
That you are loved, that you always have been, that God knows you, and you are enough. You always have been.
You are enough. So well said. With that being said, we're going to come back in just a minute, and we're going to allow her to give her final comments, her final thoughts to empower. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, to empower.
You asked me about my children.
Sorry, to empower and to inspire you and to really help you go to a whole nother level. We're going to go over to Letitia Nicole. She's going to talk about dark places to the light. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't worry. Laurel Huston's going to close us out, by the way. You are enough. She believes it. We'll be right back.
Hello, 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 everybody. It's your girl, Letitia Nicole, CEO, founder of Speak Life Enterprises, where I teach powerful words to entrepreneurs to shape their reality in business. And today is my January 1st, and I have a thought of the week for you. But before I start my thought of the week for you, I want to send a special shout out to the one and only amazing entrepreneur, Shay Brown, for this wonderful group of happy entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak life to your group. So on with my thought of the week. Now, all of us at some point go through a dark place. It's easy to get discouraged and give up on our dreams and think that it's the end. Now, think of a seed. As long as a seed remains in the light, it cannot germinate to whatever it will become, what it was created to be, right? So the seed must be planted in the soil, in a dark place, so that the potential on the inside will come to life. Now, this is what I want you to do, okay? You may not realize it or not, but it's only in that dark place that the seed of greatness in you, the dreams, the goals, the talents, the potential will come to life. These times of darkness are where your character is developed, is where you learn to develop trust and perseverance, and where you gain blessings you cannot gain in the light. You guys, my name is Letitia Nicole, and I speak life so that we all may have life more abundantly. But until next time, continue to go through that dark place so you can be the light. Bye.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country, where we're on a mission to empower, we're on a mission to inspire, and we're on a mission to provide you with all the resources you need to execute the vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And we want to thank the one and only Laurel Huston, all the way from up in northern Utah, for being here and really sharing with us how you really can have a life and make a living, how you can use body mapping to understand and communicate more efficiently and more effectively. And at the end of the day, walk in your purpose and your passion because you know who you are and whose you are. So we want to thank her for doing that. She has a heart to give. She has a heart to serve. Some funny folks text me, and Zahida Carter put out there, love your emotions for your children. I got 4 texts saying, Shay, that she's just so amazing, and you're so authentic, and you have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve. We want to thank Eric Swanson, who's watching right now, by the way. He's out there watching right now with Habitude Warrior. And y'all can all go over to Habitude Warrior, habitudewarrior.com, habitudewarrior.com. And before she gives her final thoughts and final comments, I want to ask her, how can they connect with you? I mean, where should they go in order to stay in the conversation with you over and beyond today?
I would love to connect through Facebook. I have a like page. It's Laurel Huston, creator of body mapping, on Facebook.
Okay, it's Laurel Huston. So let's all go to Facebook. Let's go to Facebook right now. And when they go to Facebook, they should type in, I guess, into the search bar, right? The little search bar, type in your name, Laurel, Laurel, and then Huston, but it's Huston, correct?
Yep, Huston.
Okay, Huston. She knows how to spell her last name, Shay. She got to stay. Okay, we're here now. So we're on your page now, which is kind of cool, by the way. It's pretty cool. That's you speaking at Habitude Warrior Conference. Tell us what you enjoy most about doing that, by the way.
Oh my goodness, the connections, the people I was able to meet. Just in that picture, we've got Dan Clark, the students there, high quality students that were at. They were all wanting to up level. They came ready to hear, they came ready to learn, they came ready to go home and do. And that was really important.
Oh man, that is so cool. And this is you, huh? There you are.
Yep.
Oh, this is cool. You teach it. Okay. And what's one of the reasons why folks should follow you?
I do a lot of, every Monday I do, it's called a Mapping Monday. And I have people that can put pictures in of themselves, and I'll tell them different characteristics based on their features. Because I am wanting to help as many people as possible find who they are, that they are enough, and that they matter.
I like that. I am enough. You are enough. We are enough. Amazing. I love it. Once again, I want to thank you so much for spending so much of your precious time. One of the things I like about it, ladies and gentlemen, is that before we got started, she didn't ask for a Cash App payment. She didn't say send her a Zelly payment. She said, Shay, I'm here to serve. No wire transfers needed. And we want to thank you for doing that, giving so much of your time. One of the things that we know that everyone out here that's watching right now, everyone can always go make more money. I'm very confident in that. I'm confident everyone of you can do that. But none of us, myself, nor Laurel, anyone can make more time. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. She gave us the most precious resource she had, which is her time. So thank you so much. I want to turn it over to you to have your final thoughts, your final comments for those of us that have to go out there and now we got to go walk in our purpose and our passion.
Yes. The biggest thing that I want to leave with you is whatever you focus on, you will find. If you want to find more passion, if you want to find more purpose, then stop comparing yourself to someone else. You do matter. You have purpose, you are enough, and you always have been. I love you. Learn to love you because you are worth loving.
You are enough. Everyone, do me a favor. As we close out, look below the video. Hit the share button. Hit the share button. If you hit it before, hit it again. If you're watching and listening to the podcast, copy the link. You can pay this message forward into your groups. Laura's okay with that, by the way. She's okay with paying your message forward. You can do that. Once you do that, just write these words. I am enough. Hashtag Laurel Huston. Because today is your January 1st. Go ahead and write, or you can write you are enough. Because today is my January 1st. This is your moment. This is your time. You've got greatness inside you. And I know for every single of you watching, the best is still yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is still yet to come. So with that being said, for those folks that are tuning in for the very first time, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless. And I wish you success. See you later. Thanks a lot, Laura. You're amazing. We appreciate you as well. And looking forward to connect with you. Bye-bye, everyone. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win. If you're going in, put your hands.
Thank you. God bless.